This episode of Shootin' The Shiznit is brought to you by 80stees.com, the leading online retailer of licensed t-shirts. They specialize in retro movie, music, TV shows, video games, comic books, wrestling, and cartoon t-shirts. So how can you help us and also buy cool t-shirts? Well, we want you to go to tinyurl.com/STS80stees. That's right. That's tinyurl.com/STS80STEES. Go there, buy some t-shirts. We get a kickback. They don't cost you no different. Now to the show. Have you listened to episode 64 with my old buddy Justin Potter? Hey, how about going to the archives at stspod.club and take a listen? Here is a clip.
Go in a timely manner and things. And as soon as they cut off the interviews with Cena, they walked him. He insisted they take him out to meet those fans, and that was really neat. You know, he didn't have to do that. He could have sat in the back seat and went on to his next location, but instead, you know, he took the time to go out of his way to meet these fans just because, you know, me and a couple of the other, you know, reporters told him, you know, they would love to see him. And I thought that spoke volumes about who he is. You know, we see it on TV, him doing the Make-A-Wish things, but this wasn't televised. This was, you know, a personal encounter he went out of his way to do.
That's awesome. I mean, you hear there is, you know, 2 or 3 bad stories about Cena backstage, mainly about some talent in the sense that he didn't like somebody. But, you know, we always work with somebody we don't like. So, but, you know, I've been told many times that Cena goes to these towns and rents a SUV and, you know, gets a bunch of toys and takes them to the hospital. And you don't see that. Yeah, you don't see those videos. You don't see stuff like that. And that's what's made him who he is. So great story there. Now, who is one of the top baby faces and the top guy that they're pushing now, but probably gets more booze than anybody. And that's Roman Reigns. So tell us about meeting Roman.
And this was this was actually the same day that with the Cena story. In fact, I think it was the next
4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Let's start the party.
Episode 76, live from St. Louis, Missouri, from STS Studios. That's right, guys. This is the last Shootin' The Shiznit for the year. We'll be back. Actually, Shootin' The Shiznit will not be back till the first week of January with 2 special editions of Cool Kids Countdown. I just want to thank everyone for listening throughout the year. We'll be doing a top 10 list in January sometime right after the new year, and we'll also be doing something, just a couple of special fun episodes. I just want everyone to go to @comicbookmarkbt. That's me on Twitter. You can also find all the archives on stspod.club. You can also listen to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Player FM, Pod Paradise, Spreaker, I don't know, AM Radio, I'm not sure. You can just type it in Google and you can find us. We're also on SoundCloud. If you need any merchandise like shirts, hoodies, we got a little bit of everything. tinyurl.com/STS pod merch. Now, let's just get on with the show.
Bob Magee, he's been sitting in the green room. We've had some technical difficulties, but we're going to bring Bob on. Bob, how's it going this morning?
Hi, doing good. Technology is fun.
Oh, yeah, it's, you know, a little bit of crazy going on, but we got you up and running. Actually, officially 11 minutes late, but I want to talk about a few things, bring you on. First, you know, we brought you on earlier this year, and it's actually one of those top 10 download episodes, number 6. That's episode 12 if you guys want to listen to it. And but I want to bring you on here at the end of the year. We're going to be talking about Toys for Tots. I want you to give us a rundown of what's going on in your area and all over the United States if you have the details. But first, I just want to go ahead.
Go on.
Well, first I just want to, let's give a quick, because we brought you on, I want to give a quick background. I remember someone saying, Bob Magee, is he one of those ECW guys? So bring me on, how did you get involved in doing, website on a regular basis?
One of those. Been a wrestling fan since I was 7 years old. In terms of ECW, I had friends of mine and my younger brother had been fans of Joel Goodhart's Tri-State Wrestling Alliance. He had a radio show. You may have heard about kind of his story, where before what would have been the biggest show of his existence, he went belly up because he had great shows, unfortunately spent more than he took in. He promoted like a fan and not like a promoter. So the pieces of that were brought into the old Eastern Championship Wrestling by Todd Gordon, local Philly businessman, and a lot of the rest, I think most people know his history. But we were there at that arena. Became a second home to a lot of people. I kind of wish those who watch it on WWE Network that the music wasn't edited out, because it was an awful lot of the experience. It was a combination wrestling match, mosh pit, Paul Heyman's Mind on Acid, and lots of other things. And it's one of those things like blues or jazz or religion. If you don't get it, if you don't understand it, it can't be explained. And that's kind of the way it was. But that's how we got into it. That's how we were there in those front rows, and how we were there in those. Then later on in the bleachers for all those years, from literally the first show, and minus only a handful to literally the last show they ran on a December day. Not too much unlike this, the one we're talking.
Well, cool deal. Yeah, that was, and then you started doing Pro Wrestlers Between the Sheets during that time, or was it after?
UWBTS was actually toward the tail end of the time of ECW. It started out as a newsletter by a guy named Fritz Kapp. Fritz kind of wanted to get out of things. I took over, as a website. I took it over and have been running it. That's been pretty well since not too long after ECW closed, so I've been running it for a good while. The whole idea with it is essentially Vince McMahon doesn't need my help. Indie promoters, like the ones that I enjoy and have the most fun at, are the ones who need somebody to help them put one more ass in one more seat, maybe get one more man or woman a paycheck, and help them keep running. And I find, which just segue into the subject of our time, is I find one of the things that they do a lot to support their own communities. They do a lot. They know their communities better than, even with all of Vince McMahon's resources, than he possibly could. I mean, it's not realistic to expect him to. So they know their communities, and those promotions are every style, from the most family-friendly, kiddie-friendly, take grandma to promotion, all the way to a CZW that the other night looked like a cross between, in a couple of the matches, between Saw and a snuff film. So, and it's everywhere in the kind of landscape of styles of wrestling. Do these types of shows, Toys for Tots, hunger drives, warm coat collections. They're doing stuff to support the communities in which they run. And it's one of the things that I think is one of the other things that's great about them. And you're seeing, of course, the people. I mean, we could probably take the 15 or 20 minutes to explain the kind of people I've seen first in these shows that now, whose names are universally known by any wrestling fan. So it's why I enjoy it. And it's then why I wanted to publicize the whole thing of what they're doing, because I think it's a story that needs to get out there, and people need to be aware of how much. And you'll be surprised at some of these figures. And I actually sat and counted them based on the information promoters had sent, or kind of trying to estimate in a handful of cases, but pretty much having the actual figures they gave. And there's one incredible story that's a part of the Cage of Death part of it, in that event, which is one of the most recent ones.
All right, tell us what's going on with that. What you said, an incredible story. Give it to us.
Cage of Death is Combat Zone Wrestling's WrestleMania of sorts. That's gone on for 19 years. For 12 of those years, they've been doing Toys for Tots collection, which gives some people a great chuckle, because obviously the style, which you pretty much just the Tournament of Death in the summer, Cage of Death in December, are the ones that are the most like what people think CZW is. It's gone to a lot more of a wrestling product with, a taste of hardcore stuff, but a lot more wrestling content. But Tournament of Death in the summer and Cage of Death are the shows that are what everybody imagines CZW to be. And for a lot of people, they find it kind of funny that a promotion and a show, Cage of Death, are doing something called Toys for Tots.
Yeah.
Well, each year they seem to collect more because their fans really get into it. The promoter, DJ Hyde, for all the things that some people like to say about him, or any of the workers, and some of the things they're willing to put their bodies through, those people, Hyde every year is, sure, we're going to do it. What do you need? Even sort of like, he probably puts more thought into what he has for dinner. It's just such a given because it's done so much. This year, we literally took in 600 toys, which the person who's Kathy Fitzpatrick, who is kind of the brains behind it, I'm pretty much the net shill, as I think of myself, and occasional helper, is storing these things to the point that she literally had to get people to help her drive them home, and that's with her doing 3 trips to and from the venue in Sewell, New Jersey, where it took place. That was an adventure, but 600 toys, and a good chunk of that, and here's that incredible story. A gentleman named Bob Manning out of Glen Burnie, Maryland, drove up in a snowstorm, which we had this past weekend, did a GoFundMe with the thought of raising money to bring toys to this show. Raised $865, put $135 in his own money. Drove a pickup truck full of toys to the show. $1,000 of toys. There's a few pictures online. I can probably shoot them. I can send them over to you or I think I can probably add them to the site with a Cage of Death report that I have up on your site.
Cool.
To see this man bringing these things in and bringing them in was just, kind of in a year where the U.S. and our world have gone through an awful lot of anger and division and hatred. You're seeing people who most times going to these CCW shows and indie shows in general, they aren't the ones who have. They're not the people living on the rich side of town. They're the people who are struggling and sometimes doing without themselves. But they're the ones giving. And that's why this guy runs a tattoo parlor. I mean, this is not some guy with a lot of money. Put that into it because he believes in what the whole purpose of that is about. You have kids who either themselves or on some occasion family, it was just incredible to see that day that somebody, and in that weather, I mean, they drew a full house even with the snowstorm where the roads, several indies in the area had canceled. And it was just a really, I think it's heartwarming, but it very much was, just to see somebody go into that much work to raise that much stuff. Those toys now are being stored in one location. to the point where other people are having to put it in their houses and stuff to store it. So it was that remarkable an experience. Kind of the overall thing, I have on my own site a kind of a running list of the shows that at least I've been able to get information on. Out of 42 shows that so far this year that have been held for those various things, here's a real figure I want people to really wrap their head around. Of the ones that I've got information for, you've had $30,000 in donations, 11,000 meals for people, and 4,000 toys. Now think about that number. I mean, that's that many lives that have been touched by these promotions. There's still another 20-some to go. I think that's remarkable, and I think it speaks for independent wrestling and the people who run it. You know, sometimes
it does. I mean, that's a good thing about it. We were able to take an independent, what we call independent wrestling, and they do come out. We ain't got much time left because of technical difficulties. I'm going to piece all this together. But, Bob, we got upcoming weeks. This is our last actual Shootin The Shiznit. We have a special edition coming Thursday of the year. We got 2 more weeks left of the year and around Christmas time. Give us maybe the top 3 big events that you think is going to draw the most, and tell people how they can bring out a toy to help.
Well, Cage of Death was the one. That occurred. There are others I know, Smash Wrestling, and this one I'm going to have to run rather quickly down to a computer, and I can actually give you names and locations. So people will pardon me. This is sort of being done on the fly, and as Brian said, is kind of the technical difficulty sort of thing. But that's the. I will sort of do a plug only because it's probably the most practical way to say it. PWBTS.com. I do keep a full running list of these shows, which will give you an idea of which ones to go to. Now my computer's being funny.
But what they do, they're going to still pay a mission and they're going to bring a toy, or are they having shows where you bring a toy?
In most cases, in other cases, you do have shows where the toy is the admission. It does happen.
All right, cool deal.
Okay, here we go. Okay, Mr. Computer here. Shows coming up actually just even this weekend. Outside of suburban Detroit, Pro Wrestling All-Stars will be running a show on December 15th. Adam Rose, most people remember from WWE, is the featured star at their annual Toys for Tots show. Tommy Wildfire Rich, down your way, down in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, is doing Twas the Fight Before Christmas at the X Gym down in Myrtle Beach with Tommy Rich and Doug Gilbert. To move around the country a little bit, Imperial Wrestling Revolution out in Edmore, Oklahoma, is doing their Toys for Tots show on December 16th. Northeast Wrestling, which is one of the larger independents in the country, is running a show this Sunday, which has been rescheduled from actually the 9th, where they had a snow problem. And it's their annual Toys for Tots event. They're asking people to go as well. And again, on the PWBTS.com site, you can find that and get that information and go out and help those promotions, help their communities. It's, some people say, well, hey, it's me just giving a toy. It's no big deal. You heard those numbers. That's a lot of somebody's doing one small thing, and those promoters providing the place to make it happen. So Christmas and do something and have some fun along the way gives you a perfect opportunity.
All right, that's right. I just want to remind everyone to go to www.pwbts.com, and I have the whole list. Bob is also over there at STS pod.club. He's been posting everything. Guys, thank you, Bob, for joining us this morning, and I think all the fans and listeners will enjoy it too. Have a great day, guys. Coming up next on Shootin The Shiznit, we're bringing in Danny Adams.
We have a bunch of new sponsors, but part of an affiliate program, and I want to direct you to tinyurl.com/STSTV store. That's right, tinyurl.com/STSTV store. Hit that. You get that link, you go to this store, that's TV store, and we get a kickback. Some cool wrestling stuff, kind of over-the-top stuff. You can get boots, you can get a Ric Flair robe, you can get a classic Stone Cold shirt. There's all kinds of fun stuff. Not only that, they have ugly sweaters, they have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Bruce Lee, kind of, if you wanted some odd stuff, I love this website. Not only are they helping us, I like the website, so that helps out a lot. Guys, go to that link. If you buy anything, we get a kickback, and it actually helps the podcast. So go to, that's tinyurl/STSTV store. Thank you. And now back.
Wicked or weakness, you gotta see this. Yeah. Hey, I remember syrup sandwiches and crime allowances. Finesse a nigga with some counterfeits for now.
Actually the second guest on the show today, so he's been sitting in the green room while me and Bob Magee's been bullshitting. So come on, Danny, come on over. I know you've been having those milk and cookies over there, and we welcome you to Shootin The Shiznit.
Hey, what's going on, man? How are you?
Hey, we're doing good. Hey, what I do on this show is I actually bring someone on that I've known for a long time in the wrestling business, or someone I don't even know. So you fit in the latter category. I've seen you work 3 or 4 times on a Glory Pro show, but Glory Pro has been in the news the last few days. We want to bring you on, and let's just talk about you first. Danny, what got you into wrestling? I mean, as a fan, let's start as a fan, and then we'll go as you as a worker.
Okay, so, to be honest, I don't know if I can point to an exact moment that I became a wrestling fan. I mean, I think some people have stories about, watching it on TV and they just kind of just click with them. But in my case, I can't remember a single time in my life when I wasn't a huge fan, because I just kind of grew up in a family. My dad and my brother and cousins were all big fans. So, I just grew up always knowing who Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, and the Ultimate Warrior were, and that was just always a household name. So, just being a fan ever since, like I said, ever since I can remember, it was the dream, always a dream of mine. And in 2014, got the opportunity to start training with Michael Logan in St. Louis, and here I am.
And are you originally from the St. Louis area?
Yes, I am, born and raised.
All right. And we always come live from STS Studios there in St. Louis. So you, just to let you know, this is a St. Louis-based podcast. The thing about it is and you started in 2014. Now, Elgin put you through? What did he put you through before he let you get in the ring?
Nothing that was too intense or anything as far as, paying any extreme dues or anything. I mean, Elgin was probably one of the kindest trainers you could really imagine, especially when I first started. So he had us right in that ring and bumping around and learning all the basics and even getting into more advanced stuff real quick. I had my first match only after training for about 4 months. So he was just big on getting his guys trained and ready, and no bullshit or anything. He just wanted to see his guys succeed.
Right. And you guys, I want you to put over your stuff. Tell us how everyone can find you on Twitter, and then I'll ask you another. Let's get this, because I always forget to do this, so go ahead.
So, yeah, Danny Adams 93, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Most active on Twitter and Instagram, so if you want to talk to me, ask me any questions, just post something on my page, because I love talking to fans. If they have any questions, whether it's about me, whether it's about Glory Pro, or really anything, I just love talking wrestling. Or even if you want to talk something besides wrestling, you want to talk music or sports or something, I'm an open book, and I love to communicate with the fans no matter what they want to talk about.
Awesome. And what happened was you guys got Glory Pro. It was kind of Elgin actually was on the show talking about bringing some of his students together with to be seen and bringing some, the independent stars in through here. And we've seen, Cody Rhodes, Pentagon. We've seen a little bit of everybody through here. And y'all guys got a huge show coming up. And it is officially sold out, right?
It is, yeah. As of yesterday, we are sold out, 600 tickets sold. So that's really exciting, especially being still 2 months away. It kind of feels like it's coming up fast, but it's actually still got a ways a bit to get excited for it. We will have content on the Glory Pro YouTube page, some of our best matches from the year coming out every Monday morning. So you can check that out to kind of get caught up on everything. But yeah, so we got 2 months to get excited. Tetsuya Naito is going to be in St. Louis, which is extremely exciting to bring someone of his caliber to the area, and not at any exorbitant price point either. And that's why those tickets sold real fast, because we're not trying to gouge any fans. We're not trying to make it as much money as we possibly can, because I know this is a promotion for the fans. So we're really excited that we were able to sell all these tickets, and but we're not going to sit back. We're going to keep promoting. We're going to keep getting the brand out there.
And with we're going to reveal some stuff here. Everyone knows Elgin's part of that was going on with the promotion, but are you part owner of the promotion now? Are you just you're more than just a worker? Because I actually heard you do play-by-play, and I put you over on Twitter one time. The mic skills that you have, my brother, are very good. So you did an interview for an upcoming match, I think it was with Paco, and it was something that, the guys on Raw, if they weren't scripted all the time, you did real good, and you're always real good on commentary with it. But what is your official, role behind the scenes for Glory Pro?
Yeah, that's as one of the owners. So it's me and KLD. Have acquired complete ownership of Glory Pro. So, yeah, we're the office.
Yeah. So, I'm just, like I told you, we actually corresponded back and forth on Twitter there, and I do want to touch, and we actually talked about it the last episode here, and I just want to touch on the, quote-unquote controversy that happened recently. And you guys we won't go over exactly what happened, because if you want to, you can listen to the last episode and figure out what we're talking about. But here's, as a fan, as someone that watches your product, I know it had to be, there's so much going on that had to be heartbreaking, that you had pretty much Elgin completely getting out of it, who's not only a talent, but is also your trainer. But did you all three sit down and say, this is probably the best for the business?
That decision was made by Elgin to remove himself. Like I said, like you mentioned, he's going through some personal controversy, and there's some aspects of the situation that are heartbreaking, mostly just because of some of the messages we've gotten from fans kind of asking, whether or not we're going to be doing anything to help keep, the fans safe and comfortable at any of our events. So, like I said before, we are a promotion that is absolutely fans first. So the heartbreaking thing for me was for fans to say that they might not be comfortable at one of our events. And so, we've taken everything into consideration. One of the things that was thrown out by a lot of fans was a written code of conduct policy that we can post it online. We can read it before every event, which is what I'd like to do. And that's definitely going to be coming down here pretty soon. Just to reassure every fan that attends one of our events that we are a safe place for fans. Like I said, we are a promotion for fans to come and have a good time and not to feel uncomfortable at all.
Right. When I seen everything going on, and was the main thing was what I was thinking, and I know some fans are thinking this, you guys got 600 tickets sold for the next show. Is this going to hurt, number one, your attendance, or is Glory Pro going to be here? That was my question. And, you guys got plans coming on, and we're going to talk. You could tell about that also, but I want you to give the confidence that you are the office, that we're not just going to. We are having a show in February. You are going to have a show in February, but you're also thinking for the future also.
Yeah, absolutely. The plans have not changed as far as continuing what we're doing into 2018. Like I said, like February is already going to be a huge event, and we've already got plans down the road or for the rest of the year to keep that going. As far as international talent, I can't reveal exactly who we're looking to bring in, just because that's a little bit dicey when it comes to getting people into the country and everything. But I can assure you that the level of quality that you've come to expect from Glory Pro will continue in 2018, and will get even better, and I can promise that.
Awesome. Well, I like to hear that because I was at the first show, and if I'm not able to hit the show, I always support you guys with DVD sales, or DVD downloads. So that's good to see that. So here's a question that, you are the office and part of the booking committee, and a lot of people see old-timey wrestlers who spend a lot of time putting themselves over as the booker, and I was told one time by Dundee that Bill Dundee, I don't know if you're familiar with him, that he said that his most successful run in Mid-South was when he wasn't actually talent, he was just booking. Do you get to mark out any and say, hey, I want to bring so-and-so in to work them, or do we have to see who the fans would like to see them against?
No, that's all about what the fans want. Nothing about Glory Pro is going to be a vanity promotion or anything. I mean, just looking at February, me and Kevin are going to be in there with just a couple of young students from the area, Matt Kenway and Aaron Genich. That because we want to have a good match with them and give them a little bit of an elevation as much as we can. And then, nothing about Glory Pro is going to be centered around Danny Adams and Kevin Lee Davidson. Not to say that, we can't continue the stories and everything that we've been doing. Right. Everything's going to keep moving forward, but no, I can't imagine any situation where we would book ourselves against, the top of the line talent that we're bringing in, because that's not our place, and I think that would kind of maybe lose some of the trust of some fans who have kind of given us the vote of confidence that we're going to do this thing right. So, we're going to still be members of the roster, but in no way will we be putting ourselves first. And yeah, I can assure you that.
And it's funny because you can hear your voice like, why would I do that? But that happens all the time. I'm from the Memphis area, and you always seen, if they brought a star in, they was always against somebody that, not always, but 90% of the time that the star wondered what the hell they were doing in the ring with somebody. So instead of giving you two, the thing about it is with you guys, you seem to be booking the guys that they want to see against each other. Got some of the best and kind of brought tag team wrestling back for me, because I'm a big tag team mark, always have been. I like the tag teams to have a name, a theme music, and so forth and so on like that. And you guys spent a year, pretty much you and Paco did, in a storyline, and that's just weird for this business, for you to take that amount of time to work a storyline and make it work. Let's go over people that are in the St. Louis area, and we do have a lot of listeners there. Let's go over the card coming up. Not only the main event, we know what the main event, you can go over it too, but just kind of run down the matches that's going to be coming up.
Well, of course, the Crown of Glory is going to be defended. Jake Something, Paco Gonzalez, and Kurt Stallion. A three-way dance. I'm really excited for that one. Obviously, Tetsuya Naito and AR Fox. Big deal to bring Naito to the area. What else am I excited about? Gary J and Jake Parnell in a rematch from the October event. There was a lot of good buzz surrounding that event, and those guys have been tearing each other apart all across the country at this point, so I'm excited to see what they can do again in a Glory Pro ring. Lufisto is going to make her debut against Savannah Stone, who's kind of one of our own homegrown talents. It'll be an exciting women's match. Tyler Matrix and Trevor Lee. Trevor Lee hasn't been to the area in a long time, so it'll be exciting to see him in the St. Louis area. And the United Glory Tag Team Championships, Everett Connors will be bringing a partner to defend those titles, but he hasn't told us who, and I don't think we're going to reveal who until February 18th. So he's going to bring what he calls a close personal friend. He's going to bring him to take on the besties in the world.
Awesome. I mean, if you guys are sold out, I love the idea of teasing it. But if you only had 100 tickets sold, I'd tell you to tell people who it's going to be. But with 600 tickets, and that's just, I mean, pat you guys on the back. A continued success. I hope it happens. It's just when you have something happen that you guys have had in the last week, I know it's stressful. And I'm not. The thing about it is, any dealings I've had with Michael Elgin, I mentioned on the show that have been 100% professional, but you have things in this business that happen. One of the best advice I could give you is is the thing about, you got to separate yourself to a certain degree from the fans, and that's where your job is to sell tickets to the front office, and also your job to sell T-shirts or whatever. Your job is, and interact with them in the public, not the private. That would be my advice to you guys. I don't know if you can take it or you can tell me kiss my ass, but that is that is one of those things that even some of the WWE guys could learn. So hey man, anything else you want to tease? Anything coming up in Glory Pro except for the new event? You go ahead. I don't have much more to say. I think I wish you guys success.
Yeah, I can reveal that we don't have a date set just yet, but we're going to let you know if we have plans for a new tournament this year, just kind of to showcase some of the up-and-coming talent from not only just the St. Louis area, but all across the country. So be on the lookout for that and some talent announcements for that, whether before February or soon after February. So.
Sounds fun. I'm a big tournament mark, too. I want to thank everyone for joining us on the best little wrestling podcast in the business. Same bat time, same bat channel. Be there.